You're still watching the City of Lagos TV show on TV Nigeria. Welcome to the Lagos Agencies in Focus platform, where we showcase, project, and promote the activities, policy initiatives, efforts, programs, and projects of various strategic agencies in Lagos. And of course, we are all aware that Lagos is a commercial nerve center of the country. And as a coastal city, one major natural resources in the city of Lagos is coconut. But coconut itself is another huge economy that has transformed the revenue generation of Lagos State. And of course, there is an agency saddled with ensuring that this great economic potential is driven for profit and of course for development. We're talking about the Lagos State Coconut Development Authority. Interestingly, today we're going to be speaking with the General Manager of the Lagos State Coconut Development Authority, talking about Ms. Olajumoke. Madam, you're welcome.
Thank you for having me. And to Lagosians, welcome.
Thank you very much, Madam. First, from an historical perspective, when was LASCODA established, and what are its major terms of reference, mandate, vision, and mission statement?
LASCODA was established in the year 1996, precisely May 19th, 1996. We are mandated to promote production, processing, commercialization, and of course, utilization of coconut along its value chain. And the vision to make coconut a vibrant economic crop for Lagos State and reposition Lagos State as a major producer of coconut in the world. So our mission is to ensure that we do all of this in a very sustainable manner, such that the environment, the economy is taken care of and the full potential of coconut can be brought to bear.
Lagosians would like to know, what are the significant research efforts, the business innovations, and the strategic initiatives LASCODA has taken to explore the local and international economic potentials and benefits of coconut?
LASCODA has ranked the position 19th way back 2017 by the FAO. Now, for us to be able to reposition LASCODA, we identified the gap and we observed that there is a major missing link. The missing link really is in the production. We know that Lagos State is constrained by land mass. But the land mass that we have is enough for us to increase the ranking of production of coconut in the world. So to that extent, what we have basically done is to look at what will improve it. So we have done a lot of research, primarily just like you have with children. They will tell you that the first 1,000 days in the life of a child is the most important. So for coconut, the first 9 months, which is the period with which you grow your seedling, is the most important. So we have done research along that line, and we have got to discover if you apply proper cultural practices, whether in the seedling production stage or even in the cultivation stage, you can cut down the period, the gestation period, for dwarf and hybrid between 3.5, 4 years. And for the tall varieties, we have been able to bring it down to 6 years. That research would ensure that you can start earning your income from the 6th year after planting the seedling. So that is a major breakthrough that would help us to even change our ranking. Also, in terms of processing and utilization, in the past, most stakeholders in the coconut value chain, they are more concentrated in just the coconut oil and the meat. But in recent times, we have done a whole lot of research into other uses. Beyond the food aspect, it also caters to the environment. You know so well that Lagos State is a coastal state, and it's so very easy for anything that you put on your soil, on your agric land, to seep into the water bodies. So to that extent, we have done a lot of research to see how else we can make coconut the center piece. Every part is useful to the development of the value chain.
To what extent has Lascoda built a coconut farming community? Because for you to drive the coconut economy, you will need to, of course, cultivate a lot of interest in coconut farming. What is the situation right now in Lagos? What is the statistics of coconut farmers? Are we having more people coming in or just few people?
Before now, you have just those that planted it, the older generation that are into cultivation of coconut. But in recent times, you find out because of various enlightenment, sensitization, and all of that around coconut value chain, you find out that there are more people coming into the coconut production. Even just recently, we're at some communities. Lagos is a coastal area and we have a lot of highlands. Most of these islands, you have their inhabitants just inheriting the plantation and not necessarily looking at developing, the business. But in recent times, you find there's a lot more interest in their plantations. If you get to most of these highlands, their coconut trees is producing like at about 30% capacity. But as a result of the sensitization on the economic potential, because that is what would really interest the farmers most, more people are interested in cultivating coconut. In the past 1 year, we have been able to have an additional, I think, 570 farmers showing interest to go back to cultivating coconut. So, and by implication, you want to imagine the overall effect on the economy in the very near future.
For Lagos State, as a coastal city and as an agency, the expectation is that Lascoda has several huge coconut farm settlements. What's the situation really? Does Lascoda have coconut farming settlements across the state?
Lagos State has a total of 47 hectares of land where we cultivate coconut in the state. Now, we are not necessarily to compete with our stakeholders. We are expected to promote our stakeholders, whether in the cultivation, processing, utilization, and all of that. So those hectares you are talking about, they are demonstration plots. They are plots where we demonstrate best practices. Because in reality, if you want anything to grow, especially when it comes to agricultural, you must be able to show, to demonstrate. We have about 45 in Badagry and about 3 in Ekpe, Ibejuleki axis, where we have the farm and we are proposing to revive our processing facility there.
Now, GM, for sustainability and growth purpose, what is the nature, the level, and progressive approach Lascoda has adopted in the area of coconut planting, harvesting, talking about farming across coastal lines of Lagos?
Lascoda is an agency of the government, and the coastal line is also part of property of the Lagos State government. And we have about 180 kilometers. Of course, not all of them is usable for that purpose. You have other things like maybe you have jetties, you have Ministry of Tourism having things at the waterfront and all of that. But at the end of the day, you are still having close to 130 kilometers. So that too would form a community that you will be referring to as government community for coconut production. Then, as it is, what we are now doing, we are taking advantage of the fact that Lagos State may seem not to have land, but we do have schools that have large expanse of land. So we are adopting schools. We have particularly started with where you may be surprised, the urban area. Just last year, we adopted Wetland Secondary School at Okwoba there. We have started cultivation of their land for coconut seedling production. So we are taking the students through the production of seedling and the planting itself to catch them young, to get their interest in the value chain. They know how to process the nuts to plant, from drying to scarification to planting. And then you also teach them on how to process, and you educate them on the potential, the market potential. So that will ensure that maybe by the time they get up, they grow up, they will be able to continue. So that's where we are ensuring sustainability. Then on the other hand too, the communities that are already existing, you and I know that if I have a crop of interest and the only thing I'm getting from it is like just like 30%, 20%, it's likely to be very discouraging. So those communities that have it, for them to be able to continue on it and for Lagos State to benefit from the sustainability potential of coconut, we are already working with some communities. We also have been able to diagnose the problem with some of their tree crops, why it's not producing to capacity. For processing, all over the world, there are renewed technologies, that is helping processors to get more from coconut. The problem there is that these technologies are expensive. So what we have done is to work with relevant agencies to produce cost-effective machines that will do the same thing. We are working with local fabricators. We are taking on-shelf technologies that is producing machines, equipment, and everything to reduce the costs.
Is Lagos exporting byproducts or coconut itself right now?
Lagos State, through LASCODA, have been able to facilitate international certification for 4 of our processors to export coconut byproducts. Those 4 are already exporting. The products that are exported now, you have the art and crafts, food items, you have the coconut poundo, and our processors, especially the youths, they are really tapping into it. You and I know that the youths are not as patient as the older generation. So we encourage them, and we have trained quite a number of them to work on the coconut byproducts.
For the benefit of Lagosians, how true can we say it is that coconut is a money-making product?
Thank you for that question. To answer that question very well, I'll need to take Lagosians on a tour guide of some of the byproducts from coconut. So, Lagosians, are you ready? Let me take you on the tour. So, here we are. This, as you are seeing it, is a part of the coconut husk, the way you will find it on the tree. Sometimes it's this dry, sometimes it's still green. So this is the way you will find it. And when it comes down, this is what comes out of it. This is the coconut that we all, this husk has a lot of economic values. One of them is this. This is called cocoa pit. It is an environmental friendly way of cultivating your crops. Most common use in recent times, you have it in greenhouses, you have it in the homes. Some people use it as a total substitute for soil. Some use it to enrich their soil. If you are in an area where the soil is so clayey, clay soils are too compact, this can be used to reduce the clay content. Cocoa peat absorbs water, so it's also very good in Badagry and those areas that have looser soils. So it is able to retain moisture, and that way you are going to use less water. On the same plant, at the crown, you have this. Of course, so many of us have this in our homes. This is a broom. It is made from the front. We also have this. This is called biochar. It is made from all of this. It is smoked. The good thing about this is that it caters to the environment. As it is, you can put it with your soil in areas where the soil is very, very acidic. This tends to bring down the acid content of the soil. Beyond that, it can also be used to filter water to make it clean. Then in your homes, you can always put it in your sitting room. Like it is just this black that you are seeing here, but we have only put these accessories here just to make it beautiful. So you can decorate it anyhow you want it. You put it in your sitting room. The purpose of this is that we all know that human beings breathe out carbon dioxide. So when you put this in your sitting room or anywhere, it tends to absorb the carbon dioxide in the air. It makes your house more environment friendly. And of course, it's used in so many industries for so many other environment things. Still on our guide, let's take you to the art and craft world. This is one piece. It's good for the offices. It's good as a gift. This is a pen holder. It can be your sweets, whatever holder. This is your card holder, and this shows that Lagos State can be as beautiful as this. We have cutlery holder. You can also use this in your office as your pen holder. On edibles, this is granular, and it's included in most staples for nutrition purpose. I'm sure you are interested in seeing some more of our coconut byproducts. Still on edibles, these are snacks. They are nutritious, they are healthy snacks for meetings, parties. Coconut is nutritious. We have also poundo. Coconut poundo is an healthy means of making your swallow rather than using the regular swallows that are likely to give you health complications. So this is poundo. And for your meetings, rather than the sweets, you have this and some other confectionaries. Also, this is coconut gari. This has a little bit of sweetness to it because coconut is naturally sweet. Then you have our popular Eco coconut bread. We are popularizing coconut inclusion in bread and gari. This basket too is made from coconut. For your cosmetics needs, the coconut oil. It has so many functions. Will serve as cream, it can be used as food, and it's also used in the production of soap. You have lipsticks made from coconut oil. They are fortified with vitamin A during the dry season, and you can even use it all year round. The art and craft, you have this from dried forms of coconut. You have this. These are gifts, souvenirs that you can give out at your parties. You can use them even as jewelry. So let's take you to another byproduct of coconut that will give you comfort in your home. Here I am sitting on a byproduct of coconut. 75% of what I'm sitting on is made of coconut. The stand is made from coconut wood, and the only thing that is not coconut in this will be this. So you can have this in your home in case you want to be more tuned to the environment. This tree is made 90% from coconut byproducts. The leaves, they are leaves from the natural trees. The mat is produced from the trees. These are real coconut fruits. They are coconut fruits. The essence of this is to let you know that you can make a lot of things from coconut. The dye that is used to also work on it is produced from coconut. These are coconuts. These are the early fruits. So at the end of the day, it is about our creativity.
So, GM, it is quite impressive listening to you, having coming back from that tour. Obviously, it shows that the coconut economy in Lagos is waxing stronger. But there are likely going to be investors, people interested to want to communicate with the agency, Lascoda, to make further inquiries, possibly to see how they can collaborate, partner, and possibly look at investment possibilities and opportunities with Lascoda. So, how can such people reach out to the agency?
If you go on the Ministry of Agriculture and Food Systems website, Lascoda has a page. We are on X at Lagos Coconut, Instagram at lascoda.coconut, Facebook Lascoda Lagos. Our email address is lascodangr@gmail.com, and our physical office at Block 9, First Secretariat Complex, GRA.
What will it take an investor, interested investor that wants to come to Lascoda and look at exploring the potentials of coconut as a business venture? What are the basics first?
The first question is you need to identify what the investor is interested in. If the investor is interested in production, what does it take? You get a land, then you get your seedling, you plant. But more importantly, you need technical expertise. You need to come to us via you can communicate with us via any of these handles. Then we'll take you through. If you are looking at processing, processing has different stages. Are you processing for food? Are you processing from the waste product from coconut? Just like I had earlier said, Lascoda is partnering with relevant agencies, local agencies that are making it cheaper for people to go into processing. Carbon sequestration is beginning, or it's already attracting monies to economies. So in the future, it will come to play. So if the investor is looking at environment, benefiting from the environment, you still need to come to us. So we'll tell you exactly what you need to do so that you are not just investing amiss.
So, GM, which of the pillars of Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu's Teams Plus agenda does LASCODA fall on? And to what extent have you lived up to that agenda?
LASCODA falls under the fourth pillar, which is making Lagos a 21st century economy. What is so significant about the 21st century economy? It is the fact that it has to be sustainable. It is sustainable in terms of consumption, in terms of environmental impact. LASCODA has, in the past few years, increased the economic impact on our stakeholders. We have introduced them to what obtains in a typical 21st century economy. We've introduced them to recent tools and equipment that is environmentally compliant. We have actually educated them on the impact their farms is having on the economy. We have introduced them to some of our centers where most of what we use there is renewable and solar system. So to a lot of extent, our stakeholders have been introduced to what obtains in some other 21st century economies.
It will be quite important to know your strategic partners and critical stakeholders. Which of the other government agencies are you collaborating with, non-governmental or the private sector, and how have they been of positive impact to your set objectives?
We have had a lot of partners, local, international. Now, at our local hands, let me start from that. We have our local farmers. We call them outgrowers. We partner with them to produce certified seedlings. Also, we have a sister agency in the Ministry of Agric, which is the Agric Development Authority. They are the research arm of the ministry. So they partner with agencies like NIFOR, like universities that have on-shelf technology. So they bring it down to us. So we are able to now transfer it to our farmers for improved productivity, for more economic impact in terms of their processing. And we also partner with our Ministry of Commerce to link our farmers to the export market. Also, we have the agribusiness department of the Ministry of Agric and Food System. And we also partner with them in terms of training of our farmers on agribusiness. On the NGOs, we have been on a partnership relationship with Rotary Club International. Annually, they work with us to distribute seedlings to our communities. Also, the Lekki Trade Zone. Last year, during our World Coconut Day celebration, they assisted us with the distribution of seedlings to communities. At the international level, we have one that has been with us for quite some time, the FAO. The relationship with us started almost about 15 years ago. Recently, we had a roundtable talk and we were able to come to a conclusion on some of the outcomes. So, and one of them is really into what LASCODA is doing now.
Madam, I know you've spoken quite a lot, we can encapsulate all to be achievements. Maybe you just need to itemize it in a nutshell. The achievements of the agency since you came on board as the GM.
In the past 11 months, we have done a lot of capacity building in the areas of value addition, in the areas of processing, for which the return on investment is quick. We have involved some secondary schools. We are also working with some higher institutions to train their students, their year 3 students. We have had quite a number of them in the past 11 months in our agency, and we have taken them through the value chain. We have shown them our success. Lascoda have, in the past 11 months, been able to facilitate the sales of close to 40,000 coconut seedlings. The gestation period for coconut is minimum of 3 years after you have planted. In the past 1 year, we have also shown some of our farmers how to put their farm to best use by intercropping. On our demonstration plot, we have established fish ponds, we have established snailries.
So, GM, running an agency of this nature, despite all the successes, will always also have its own challenges. So, what are the challenges the agency is facing, and what efforts are you making to mitigate against them?
Definitely, there are challenges. Processing, there are certain challenges there. But the most important of these challenges is the perception. Most communities that have coconut plantation, they got it by heritage. So they just see it as that crop that is just there. It is not seen as a business. So, but what we have done in recent times is to do a lot of sensitization as to the importance of that which they have neglected. The other challenge is exporters. Quite a number of export products from Nigeria gets turned back. So we are working with the National Export Promotion Council to guide them through export requirements for products or the byproducts.
Are there future plans? Are there future intended initiatives to boost the coconut economy in Lagos?
Yes, we do have future plans to boost it. There is one that we have been ruminating about. Fortunately, Mr. Governor have given us the opportunity to be able to do it. We are planning on increasing the number of coconut seedling to maybe like 10 million in the next few years. Also, there's this initiative that we are working on. We are already asking people to drop their locations. We'll visit if you have a space in your house where you can put a coconut seedling, whereby this coconut we are planting will still bring money for Lagos State internationally.
To what extent has Mr. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, been of great support to Lascoda?
That is a sweet question to Lascoda, and I'm sure to the Ministry of Agri and Food Systems. Let me quickly take you back to roadmap of the Ministry of Agriculture, 2021 to 2025. Lascoda was given budget of about 7% of the proposed budget out of about 43 billion naira, I think. And that would be like about 2 point something billion. So between that time and 2025, the governor of Lagos State has come through for Lascoda in the line of production of seedling, in the line of capacity building, in the line of the environment. Mr. Governor came through for Lascoda when he made a commitment of 1.3 billion to the coconut value chain and much more. The bulk of that money will be used to produce seedlings, which at the end of the day would, in course of time, be able to improve the economy of Lagos State in terms of the monies that come from proceeds from carbon sequestration. And late last year, he has also approved for us to secure our demonstration centers that I so much talked about, which is where we are going to produce this massive number of seedlings that have the potential to transform the economy of Lagos State, starting from the very near future of about 4 years. And by implication, he has given us a lot of boosts and a lot of encouragement to want us to put in much, 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 much more than we have ever done.
Thank you very much, GM. So, on a final note, what are your words of assurance and encouragement to stakeholders in the coconut value chain and to your partners?
Lagos State is committed to improving our environmental status, our economic status, and to ensure that Lagos State is at par with other economies of the world. We have done a lot in the field of research, which will help you to get the best for your investment. So we are simply saying, come to us so we can put you through so that you can make the best from your resource. Whether you want to go into production, you want to go into processing, or you want to go into export, our guide will make a lot of difference to your aspirations. Thank you.
Ms. Olajumoke, the General Manager of the Lagos State Coconut Development Authority, LASCODA, have been speaking to us on Lagos Agencies in Focus. Thank you very much, Madam,
Thank
for
you,
coming
sir.
on the program. Wish you all the best,
Thank you very much, sir.
and we appreciate all your efforts as the General Manager.
Thank you.
Well, that's it on Lagos Agencies in Focus. Our special attention has been on the Lagos State Coconut Development Authority, LASCODA. To a large extent, the GM has been able to expatiate and given us a robust picture of how the agency is expanding and exploring coconut to improve revenue generation for its stakeholders, partners, and investors. Well, to a large extent, again, the Themes Plus agenda of moving Lagos to a 21st century economy is very apt, looking at what LASCODA is doing. The City of Lagos TV show will continue in a moment. Thanks for watching.